Hey friends, welcome back to my channel where UGC Net Prep becomes simple, stress-free and actually fun. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's very important for UGC Net Paper 1 from Unit 10 Higher Education, something every future teacher, researcher and educationist in India should be aware of. Developments in higher education in India. Yup, I know it sounds like a boring headline from the Hindu, but trust me, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in this space. From the National Education Policy, NEP 2020, to digital universities, from NIRF rankings to new funding models, higher education in India is going through a complete makeover. Let's go through it all one part at a time with real examples to keep things easy. But before that, sit back and relax. We have created a special PDF that summarizes this video and provides you exam-ready notes. Just drop a message on the WhatsApp number on your screen or click the WhatsApp link in the description box and we'll send the handy PDF right to you. So let's dive in. And let's first quickly clarify what is higher education. In simple words, higher education refers to education beyond the school level. So we're talking about colleges, universities and institutes offering diplomas, undergraduate programs, postgraduate programs, PhDs and so on. And it's not just about degrees. It is about producing knowledge, research and skilled professionals who will shape our country's future. Now the big question is, how is this system evolving in India? Let's look at some of the major developments which are especially important for you from the UGC NET exam perspective. The first item on our list today is the National Education Policy 2020. You can think of NEP 2020 as the Bahubali of Indian education. It is big, bold and made to bring big changes. It was the first education policy in 34 years, replacing the National Policy on Education of 1986. Let's discuss some of its key features. Firstly, NEP 2020 promotes holistic and multidisciplinary education. This means students now have the freedom to mix and match subjects. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine studying physics with philosophy or engineering alongside music. It's now entirely possible. For instance, a student pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Physics can choose journalism as a minor subject. It's all about encouraging broader learning and creative combinations. Secondly, let's talk about something that is designed to be really student-friendly. Multiple entry and exit options. You no longer have to commit to a rigid 3 or 4-year degree without flexibility. Or under the NEP, if you study for 1 year, you can exit with a certificate. Or after 2 years, you receive a diploma. Or study for 3 years and you earn a degree. And if you complete 4 years, you receive a bachelor's degree with research or an honors degree, depending on your focus and performance. Think of it like your Netflix subscription, where you can pause your education, resume it later, and pick up right where you left off. Next, we come to another revolutionary idea called the Academic Bank of Credits, or ABC for short. This is a digital credit system where you can collect academic credits from various universities and store them safely in a virtual account. It's just like having a Paytm wallet, but instead of money, you're saving up your education credits. Moving forward, another important change under NEP 2020 is the role of the National Testing Agency, or NTA. The NTA is now responsible for conducting common entrance tests for higher education across the country. We have already seen this with the Common University Entrance Test, or CUET, for undergraduate courses. And not just that, UGC NET, CUET PG and several other exams have now been standardized and streamlined under the NTA. Now let's focus on something very close to our hearts, language. NEP 2020 gives a major push to mother tongues and regional languages. It encourages teaching in mother tongues and regional languages, especially till at least grade 5 and preferably till grade 8 and beyond. Even technical courses like engineering are being considered in languages like Hindi. It also reinforces the three language formula, where students learn three languages, with at least two being Indian. This ensures cultural connection while preparing students for a global future. Another one of the major highlights of the NEP 2020 is the internationalization of higher education. The policy paves the way for world class foreign universities to establish campuses in India, making global education more accessible without the need to go abroad. To give you a real time update, in July last year, Deakin University and the University of Wollongong, both based in Australia, became the first foreign universities to open branch campuses in Gujarat's Gift City, a special economic zone. Just a month later, the University of Southampton from the United Kingdom also began operations on the outskirts of Delhi. And finally, the NEP envisions a single regulatory body for higher education called the Higher Education Commission of India, or HECI. This body will replace the University Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, and National Assessment and Accreditation Council. The HECI will function through four verticals: the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, or the NHERC, the National Accreditation Council, or NAC, the Higher Education Grants Council, HEGC, and lastly, the General Education Council, or GEC. Remember, NEP 2020 is a must-know topic. It has been asked multiple times in the recent exams and will continue to appear in future exams. There are several important parts in this topic, such as the gross enrollment ratio and multidisciplinary education, that I cannot discuss here for time constraints. Friends, you can find this topic and many others explained in detail in my Amazon bestseller, a book in which we have explained complex topics of UGC NET Paper 1 using real-life examples, images, and diagrams. In fact, our courseware on UGC NET Paper 1 book is India's only UGC NET book that comes with 100 plus video lectures and 4,000 plus unit-wise solved PYQs. Now, if I ask you to think of institutions which are world-class, you'd probably think of names like IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, JNU, or even Ashoka University. But have you ever wondered how it is decided which colleges are truly world-class? That's where the concepts of institutions of eminence and the NIRF rankings come in. Let's start with the institutions of eminence, or IOEs. These are select public and private institutions that receive greater autonomy, funding and flexibility from the government. The goal? To help Indian institutions rise to global standards and compete internationally. For example, among public institutions, IIT Bombay and IISc Bangalore hold IOE status. On the private side, we have B.H. Pilani and Shiv Nadar University. Next, let's discuss NIRF, which stands for the National Institutional Ranking Framework. Launched in 2015 by the Ministry of Human Resources Development, or what we now know as the Ministry of Education, this framework ranks institutions across India based on various parameters like teaching quality, research output, graduation outcomes, and inclusivity and outreach. Here's a fun fact for you. In 2024, IISc Bengaluru secured the first rank in the university category under NIRF. In fact, it has been consistently securing the first rank for quite some years now. So these two frameworks, the IOE and NIRF, work together to benchmark excellence and guide students in choosing quality higher education institutions in India. For more such informative videos wherein we explain most important topics of UGC NET Paper 1 in less than 15 minutes, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. And don't forget to check out our playlist section where we've organized unit-wise playlists for UGC NET Paper 1. This way, you can find all the video lectures for each unit together, making your preparation so much easier. This is a very important topic that has been repeatedly asked in the UGC NET exams. Look at this question on your screen, which is a previous year question from 2024. The question asks us about the norms prescribed for foreign universities to set up their campuses in India. So, what are they? Firstly, foreign universities must be ranked within the top 500 globally to ensure that only high quality world class institutions are allowed to operate in India. Secondly, they should also have a top 500 rank in specific subject wise categories, which proves their expertise in specialized academic fields. And thirdly, these universities must demonstrate outstanding expertise in a particular area, ensuring they bring advanced, focused programs that benefit Indian higher education. By meeting these three conditions, global ranking, subject wise ranking, and specialized expertise, foreign universities can contribute meaningfully to India's academic ecosystem. So the answer is option 4, B, C, and E. Friends, if you are looking for more PYQs on this topic, you can refer to the Unit 10 questions in my UGC NET Paper 1 book that provides you 4,000 plus solved unit-wise questions with detailed solutions and hints. But hey, what if you are looking for online mock tests that can help you practice questions in online exam format? If that's what you're looking for, you can join our newly updated online mock test series with a wide range of full-length tests available on the Arpita Karwa learning app. These tests perfectly replicate the UGC NET exam interface, providing you with a real-life exam experience. Plus, after each test, you'll receive a detailed performance report and see where you stand in the All India leaderboard. It's a great way to identify your strengths and weaknesses and level up your preparation. Now, moving on to the next topic, one of the biggest shifts that we have seen in the recent times is a move towards digital India, especially after COVID, where we have seen a digital revolution in education as well. SWAYAM, or the Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds, which was launched in 2017, was already a move in this direction. Launched by the government to offer free online courses by top institutions such as IITs, IIMs, NPTEL, and others, SWAYAM helps even rural students to access world class content. Its motto is Access, Equity, Quality. The second move in the digital push in higher education is the launching of the National Digital University, which aims to provide personalized, fully online education to learners at scale, especially in remote areas. And thirdly, platforms like ePathshala, Diksha, NPTEL, and even YouTube channels like ours are playing a big role in making learning more accessible for all. Now, let's talk about money and management because education needs both. Firstly, the NEP 2020 has proposed the setting up of the Higher Education Financing Agency, or HEFA, which would fund infrastructure in top institutions like IITs and IIMs through low interest loans for labs, hostels, and research centers. And secondly, graded autonomy has been introduced by UGC. Well-performing colleges can now launch new courses, hire foreign faculty, and collaborate internationally, giving them real academic freedom. Now, friends, NEP 2020 has given special importance to skill development and employability. That's why it strongly focuses on vocational training and industry linkages. Key initiatives include the OWN National Skill Development Corporation, or NSDC, OWN National Apprenticeship Training Scheme, or NATS, O and Kaushal Kendras, which act as college-linked skilling hubs. Did you know colleges like Delhi University now also offer Bachelor of Vocation degrees in areas like retail and tourism, bridging the gap between education and employment? By now, it's clear that the National Education Policy of 2020 has set out to make big, impactful changes to our education system. But let's remember, big transformations never come easy. Every revolution faces resistance before it reshapes reality. And that's exactly where we stand today, at the crossroads of opportunity and challenge. Despite all the progress, some major challenges remain. We still grapple with issues like brain drain, the quality versus quantity dilemma, an overemphasis on degrees, and the urgent need for stronger research infrastructure. The good news is that NEP 2020 provides a strong game plan to follow so that India has a real chance to transform into a global knowledge hub. Now, friends, before we wrap up, let's look at another previous year question to boost your prep for this topic. The question is on your screen. This question is asking us about the verticals of the Higher Education Commission of India, or HECI. As we have learned in this video, these would include option A, NHERC stands for the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, which handles regulatory functions under HECI. Option C, HEGC, is the Higher Education Grants Council, responsible for grants and funding in higher education. Option E, NRC, refers to the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which manages accreditation and quality assurance. Options B, NIS, and D, NCIVE, are not part of HECI's verticals. Therefore, the correct answer is option 3, A, C, and E. Friends, who doesn't love free stuff? If you want even more previous year questions on this topic without spending a penny, head over to our website. Under the past year paper tab, you'll find all the PYQs from 2012 onwards. Ours is the only website that offers 150 plus official UGC net paper, one question papers with authentic answer keys for absolutely free. So go ahead and grab those free resources while you can. That's all for today, friends. I hope this helped you understand how higher education in India is evolving and why this will meet very soon in the next video lecture. Till the time we meet next, happy learning, keep loving literature, and stay tuned to my channel.